Do you want to make sure that you don't accidentally stick your foot in your mouth during a job interview? I'm going to share 10 things that you definitely want to avoid. I'm Jessie Zylea. If you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, hit the subscribe button and the bell to get notified every time I post a new video about how to elevate your career. Over the course of my career, I've interviewed hundreds of job candidates, and there are some things that were red flags, and I want to make sure that you don't fall into those traps. So let's get right into it. The first thing that you don't want to say during a job interview, and I can't believe that people actually do this, but they do, is, what do you do here? Oh my goodness gracious. I understand that you all are applying for job after job after job. I get that. I understand that the market is tough and you've probably put out literally hundreds of resumes, but when you get an interview, take 2 minutes to go on your phone before you step into the interview, or you pop open your laptop for the interview, whatever it's going to be. Remind yourself what the company does. Don't ask that question. It is absolutely terrible. And honest to God, any amount of time that you get after that in an interview is just them being a little bit nice, and they will try to wrap it up in about 5 to 10 minutes to get your butt out the door onto the next one. They don't want to waste their time with you. Question number 2, how much does the job pay? Okay, so chances are they listed that in their job post, and you might not have a copy of that job post, and that's fine. But in an interview, unless they raise the salary question or the hourly wage question, you don't want to raise that question because they want to see whether you're even a good fit to begin with. And it's premature. It's seen as bad form. I know that's going to be a very unpopular tip, but just trust me on this one. Plus, you don't want to ask that question during an interview anyway. And I'll tell you why. It's because you are giving away all of your leverage. If you get through the interview process, and you will do a much better job if you listen to these tips and incorporate them, then by the time they give you the offer, they want you. They have probably interviewed a ton of people and they've gone through probably hundreds of resumes. They want you. That's when you ask them about how much you're going to get paid. Or usually they'll give you an offer. Okay, and we're offering you X amount of money. You have leverage. You can negotiate that at that time. So don't give everything away and dump the salary question at the beginning of that whole relationship process during an interview. You lose all of your leverage. Trust me, wait until you get the offer. And asking that question is not going to help you get that offer. Number 3, you probably can't afford me. Okay, this is not the time to get cute. Usually they don't know you and they're trying to get to know you. And you probably, if that's a joke, you probably need to wait until a little bit further down the line in the relationship before you make an off-color joke like that. And if you say that, wish granted. They're going to think, okay, not only can I not afford you, but I don't even want you now because I don't like the attitude that you have. And assuming that we can't afford you is really, really terrible. It's just so patronizing. It comes off as you having really bad taste, and they're not going to want that kind of person working with them anyway. Number 4, what is your vacation policy? Again, similar to the salary issue, you're just beginning the relationship. You don't want to go ahead and ask these questions when they haven't even made you the offer. And I know the question for you is probably like, well, I don't even know if I should consider a job like this unless I know my salary and my vacation. I understand that, but there is no job for you to consider at that time. You're just interviewing. Chances are, if you are throwing a bunch of applications out into the world, either you didn't care enough at that time to look at the salary and vacation to do it, or you did, and you need to trust yourself. And when you did that, you knew that it was good enough for you to go ahead and apply to begin with. You lose so much leverage when you bring these things up at the interview. When they want you, when they make you the offer, go right into it and ask about that vacation policy, and you can negotiate it. They want you. That's the time to do that. Number 5, how quickly can I get promoted? You haven't even gotten the job. I can't even tell you. So I know this is repetitive in that way because the theme is, why are you bringing up some of these things when you haven't even gotten the job? That's not the way to talk about potential growth in the company. There's a better way to do it. That better way is in this video right here, where I discuss questions that you should be raising at the end of an interview. So if you want to know about the promotion track and things like that, there's a way to do it. Do it this way, and you'll be in a much better position. Number 6, aggrandizing statements such as, I'm the best at XYZ, or I'm good at everything. First of all, no, you're not. Okay. You're not good at everything, and you're not the best at anything. You can always find somebody who's better at you than whatever it is that you're doing. And to an interviewer, if they hear you talk about how you think you're the best, it means you're not coachable. It means that you're not going to be open-minded to learning anything. What if you're not the best, which is the truth, and you can't even see it. You are showing the interviewer that you are going to be impossible to work with, that you're not going to be a good member of a team, and that you're going to be obstinate if you make a mistake. If you can't see your own mistakes, you're in a bad situation. Number 7, I want your job. Or in 5 years, where do you see yourself? Well, oh, I see myself taking your job. That is not cute. And a lot of employers do not want to hear that. It is very rare where an employer actually wants to hear those words. And usually if they do want to hear something like that, you're saying it in a different way, such as, I've always admired what you've done at this company. I've been paying attention to your evolution throughout being at this company. And it's a track that I've always admired and wanted to be on myself. That is a much better way than saying, I want your job. That's just such a stuck up, ridiculously arrogant thing to say. It doesn't come off cute. They won't like it. Okay, I've got 3 more tips for you. But first, if you are enjoying these tips and suggestions, these strategies, hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already done so. What is your favorite comment or question that I've mentioned so far? Leave me a comment below. I would love to hear about it. Number 8, at the end of the interview, when the employer or hiring manager asks you, do you have any questions? And if you say, I don't have any questions, that's such a red flag, because you should have questions at the end of the interview. When you don't, it comes off as though you're ill prepared and that you don't actually care about working for the company, that this job is just going to be any old job. And they don't want to hire anybody like that. They want people who are going to be at least somewhat passionate about what they do. And if you're not passionate, like, fake it a little bit. There's nothing wrong with that. But it can be really difficult coming up with questions that you should ask at the end of an interview. You should definitely have these pre-planned. Once again, I'm going to point to this video right here because I go through all of this for you. So check it out right after this one, because I have 2 more tips left. You're not going to want to miss it. Number 9. So when do I start? Oh, comes off so cocky. I absolutely hate it when people say this. And I know mostly people say this as a joke. They're trying to be funny, but it often just falls flat. So don't risk it. I'm not saying don't show a personality or don't be fun or funny, but with that particular line, don't risk it, because you really do risk souring the entire interview that you just had. Number 10, I don't have any weaknesses. Now, this is very similar to number 6 with the aggrandizing statements, but the reason why I made this its own separate tip here is because I have a whole video about how to address the what's your greatest weakness question, which everybody hates. And it's a very uncomfortable question to get. I know that sometimes people feel like they're trapped. They feel like if they say that they have a weakness, that's going to take them right out of the running. Sometimes people think that if they're not honest about it, then they're coming across as disingenuous. And that's true. If you say that you have a weakness, you are not taking yourself out of the running, but it depends on what you say and how you say it. So go watch this video here. I provide very specific advice about how to prepare for the dreaded what's your greatest weakness question. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, all the things, and I will see you in the next one. Until then, ciao.